It should start streaming now. So here we are on our first episode, and first ever episode of a live YouTube stream called Byte Talk. And today we have me and my partner, which is technically his time. And if you
Howdy.
if you want to, man, I'm stumbling now. Did you see what you did? But yes, if you want to see his channels and stuff like that, we'll leave it in the link in the description below, and there's like a link on the screen for it. So what were we talking about earlier?
Okay, so we were talking about your new PC
yes, I'm
build that
building
you're looking at.
a new computer now. I actually can't wait until I get this all set up because it's actually going to be amazing going with the Ryzen. And actually, did you connect to the channel so you could see what's going on with the chat?
I did, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually going to be building the Ryzen, and I already got a theme for it. It's called Ryzen above Intel. Because I'm actually really hyped for it because for what the specs of what it is and the price of it, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
And it will be really great. It's one of those things where the specs look really good so far, but the real world test is going to be...
Actually, they did a lot of real world tests. You know what I can't believe though? The funniest thing is, like, how can AMD make a chip that is faster than the i7 at half the price? So it leads me to think that Intel really overprices their chip.
For sure.
Like, the markup must be like insane. And I don't know. I've been waiting for this chip since they announced it, or they've been talking about it for months ago. So I already got all the pre-orders in for my chip. I got the CPU. I mean, the case, which I am going with the Corsair Air 240. And what's best about it is I actually reached out to one of my previous sponsors for the Raspberry Pi project, and they're actually going to be sponsoring the water cool, all the water cooled bits for this new PC build. So that's going to be amazing. It's
going to be awesome.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
That's one of the things with the new AMD boards as well. The features are great. I mean, Intel have been in the lead for so long that it's just going to be really nice to have AMD come out on top for once and also be reasonably priced.
Yeah. The pricing is what kills me the most. I'm like, you can make a chip that is so much faster and so much cheaper. I'm just like I could buy a chip and a really good GPU for the price of one CPU for Intel. It's just that's what's killing me right now. It's like, Intel, you guys overpriced too much. But then again, they've been in the leader of the game for like the longest time. Like, where else can you get an Intel chip? Like, you're not gonna buy. Remember Citrix? Like those old Citrix chips?
I do remember Citrix and K6s and all that.
Yeah, the K6, the Citrix, and then they were supposed to be at the same speed as AMD or something, but like half the price.
Yeah.
But they didn't do very well because they would overheat and break and stuff. But yeah, that's besides the point. You wouldn't go for that market.
No, and AMD have come such a long way. Like, they were underdogs when they first came out, 20 years ago or whatever it was, actually. No, it was probably almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about 20 years ago. But one of the guys, Lee Young, was saying it's true. You're paying for the name. Intel is now just that brand. It's like whenever they stick that sticker on there, it's that name. Same thing with ASUS. Same thing with ASUS. Right now they made this little Tinker board, and ASUS has this Tinker board. It's $70. It's $69.95. Yet it's not all that much better than the Raspberry Pi. But because it has the ASUS name on there, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna double the price and market it that way. It's using an older chipset. I'm gonna be releasing a video, a review video for that guy. But it's just the same. It's like the name.
Yeah, and that's with a lot of technology these days. You're definitely paying for the name rather than the actual technology itself. It's the same with Apple. Apple, they're just way overpriced. And really, you can get a similar Android phone that does more than an Apple phone.
Yeah, yeah, that is right. And I that it's the name again. Apple, they could price up whatever they can. Meanwhile, it's the name. I really sometimes it gets to me. But then again, the reason they made it that high and the reason they made it that top of the game is because they're reliable. People buy them because they're reliable, and um, that's one of the things.
That's it.
So yeah,
Yeah, but no, that AMD system that you're building is going to be awesome.
yeah. So it's gonna be my new editing rig slash gaming rig. I'm using a 1070 water cooled, 64 gigs DDR4, the AMD 1700, and it's gonna be on a micro ATX, so it's gonna be a small form factor. Oh, now that I switched to like the 4K monitor, I have desktop room, so I'm gonna be putting this off my floor instead of capturing all the dust. I'm actually gonna put it on my desk, and it's gonna be nice. And I'm doing some really cool stuff with it. Like I have the Arduino that's gonna be running some LEDs in front of the case, so it tells me the CPU usage, RAM usage, GPU usage, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna have Arduino built into my case to show all that stuff up. But I'm gonna be doing a huge video on the build, the complete build and everything.
Yeah, that will be awesome, especially considering that you're going to be modding the case and adding those extra features to it.
I completely agree with that Android statement.
Yeah, me too. I'm just like, yeah, you don't have to walk into an Apple store and talk to a expert and say,
A geek. What do you call? Do they call them the Apple geek or what did they? Geniuses. Don't they?
genius. Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's
call them the
right.
genius.
I knew someone that worked there, and I can tell you they're not geniuses.
I wish I could build it into a desk. I have like the IKEA desk, and I know